Hi there, this is the RPS Project. I'm Richard, and today I've got LED light strip. Not on the reel anymore, but on the bench. I decided that it's about time I got and sorted out my lighting to some extent. Lighting for my videos is very poor. I've got a bit of lighting from a window, I've got a ceiling bulb, and I've got a lamp over there. And that's about as good as it gets, which isn't really very good. Tends to make the contrast a bit iffy, can be quite grainy as well. I can't record any time other than daytime because there just isn't enough light, so the whole experience is a bit wishy-washy. So I really need to get some more lighting set up in the spare room for when I'm recording. So yes, LED light strip. So hopefully I'll be able to build a couple of sort of boxes that have got strips of LEDs in that will have like a frosted front on them, and it'll just provide a lot more light in here. So let's have a look at the actual light strip. So here we have the strip on my workbench. I've just taped it down a bit because it's got like this plasticky sheath that's over it, and I've been pulling this off because I'll need to separate these out into smaller lengths to stick them on the backing sheet that I'm going to put them on. But just a quick first look at this. I've got the multimeter here. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. This is going to show how much current is flowing when I've got this on. Now it says actually on the strip it says 12 volts, and I'll do a quick diagram in a moment of how I think this is set up. But first of all, let's turn on the power supply and turn the LEDs on. Now it is going to suddenly get quite bright. Oh my goodness, hopefully you can see that through that lot. But this is giving me, you can see that on there hopefully, 1.25 amps, so it's 1.25 amps for all these LEDs. Now these LEDs, I worked out that there are 300 LEDs, and I'm going to split them up. Let's turn that off, goodness me, sort of blinded now. But yeah, there's 1.25 amps running through that lot, which is brilliant. Just means I've got to make sure I get the right power supply for powering these things on. So let's have a quick look at a diagram of what I think I've got here. So what I've got here really with this LED strip, as I've been looking at it, I've got a massive long strip, then every so often I'm getting a solder point going along his strip, and it appears it's cut into 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sections in each. I don't know how to describe it. It's 10 sets of 3 in each section, and then I've got 10 sections. So I've got three LEDs, of which are in series. Now there's a resistor in here as well, and from what I can make out, what I've got is something like this. So a resistor, LEDs, and that's positive, that's the negative or the minus rail, and what I've got is 3 LEDs with a resistor in the middle. And what I've got is I've got this 10 times per section, and then over here I've got obviously a tab and a tab, and then over here again, and these are then soldered to the next section of 10. So in each section I've got 30 LEDs. So I can unsolder these parts here and have effectively 10 strips of 30 LEDs that I can then position in strips onto a backing board. And because I've got 10, I can put 5 on each one, and then find another piece of plain paper. Should have prepared this beforehand, but never mind. So what I'll have is on a backing piece, and then I will link all the positives together and then link all the negatives together, because of the way that they're set out, the LEDs. That's really all I need to do, and then just apply 12 volts and it should light up, and I can make 2 of these to make my unit from this set. So in each set I'll have 150 LEDs, is it? Yeah, because I've got 300, so 150 LEDs per box, which will certainly give me some brightness. Okay, so what parts do I need for this build? Well, start off with, besides the LED light strip, I've got some aluminium. Now this is going to be stuck onto a backing piece, of which this is the side that I'm going to put the LEDs onto. This side I'm going to actually stick to the backing sheet. So what I've got is these couple of pieces of board, and what's effectively going to happen is they are going to get stuck on there like so. I'm going to cut this board down so it fits better, so it's the right size of what I want, and then that will be effectively stuck onto there, and then I will stick the LEDs, I'm not quite sure how, maybe glue, and really worked out how I'm going to do it, but I'll then fix 5 strips of LEDs onto the metal, onto the aluminium backing, because I suppose you could say it would give me work as a heatsink, but there wasn't going to be that much heat I would have thought from, but also it's reflective, so any light in there is going to be reflected hopefully forward out of the box. And then what I've got is some square, I say square doweling, but effectively we will make the box from these pieces. These are form the sides, and I got some thinner pieces that will go on top of that, and what will happen is once I've formed the sides, I will then put a piece of like frosted film, it's almost like heavy tracing paper, over it and fix it in position with the thinner pieces. And I think the gluing and the wiring is probably going to take the longest maybe, so I've got to cut all this wood down and get it all to the right shape, clean the edges off on this aluminium sheet and get all that prepped up and sort out how it's all going to go together. So I'll have to get on and do that, and then come back and see how far we've got. But yeah, next stage, cutting stuff up. Okay, so I've cut my wooden bits down and me board and everything, and got my aluminium ready. So this aluminium sheet's going to go onto the backboard. I've got the runner pieces all cut up to go around the edge. But I need to bond this to this board somehow. I need to stick it down. I've got some choices. We got choices. No nonsense spray contact adhesive, and don't quite know how well that's going to work though, because it's more the sort of thing you'd stick your carpet down with, or materials maybe. 2 other options. Good old Araldite works quite well, but will it work on this metal? Don't know. The other option is this Bostik all-purpose extra strong clear adhesive. Now I know this stuff works really quite well, but will it be okay on this aluminium. I don't know. I'd have to try it. So that's my choices. Which glue do I use to stick this down? And obviously once I've stuck it down, I'm going to have to put all the boards together. I'll stack them up and clamp it so that it's not going to fall apart. So hopefully it'll set and be stuck on quite well. But if I use this, it's going to take at least 24 hours at least to go off properly before I can do anything else with it. And of course, once I've stuck the aluminium down, then I've got to look at getting the LEDs stuck onto the aluminium, which will be on the other side, because this side is the side that will be glued, so like so, because this side's got the covering on, and then that'll peel off and I'll have to stick the LED onto that side. But yeah, decisions about gluing, that's my first consideration. I'm not quite sure which glue to use. I mean, the other scenario is that I drill some holes in the corner and I just tack it down with some screws, which is the other alternative which I'm considering. But again, how many screws do I use? Do I put some glue underneath anyway? I don't know. I'm sure I'll decide at some point not too far in the future and get them fixed on, but I need to get it done with so that I can actually get the LEDs on there and push on with the project. Sorry about the lighting in here. I'm in a sort of hallway area that I use to do some work, so the lighting's terrible, but there you go. Anyway, on we go with it. Well, I've finished gluing it up and I've clamped it up as well, so that's just going to have to sit like that now for 24 hours at least. Probably end up being longer than that. And I used the Bostik All Purpose, which is, like I say, it's a really good adhesive. I just don't quite know how well it's going to be with this aluminium onto this strange, it's almost like a chipboard stuff, but well, I suppose I'll see in about 24 hours if it's worked or not. But yeah, on we go. So here I have my two light units with all the LEDs on, glued on. Let's glue these strips on. Just used ordinary, I don't know, super glue. It's the best thing I could find. I didn't think they'd be particularly high temperatures. Say the aluminium sheet that I've got here isn't really for heat dissipation, more about illuminating light back once it's turned on, which it seems to do quite well. I won't do it on, turn it on now, because they'll just swamp out the white balance on the camcorder. So this camera can't really handle that too much light. I've got these strips done. I've got them marked up, ready to drill holes in them, so I can then roll out like it's like a filter sheet. It's almost like heavy tracing paper. I'm going to run over both of these. Yeah, this project seems to have taken forever to do. Basically, I've been doing a little bit every weekend because I've got a full-time job and other things to do, so I've just seemed to have taken forever to do this. And don't seem to have very coherent filming for this, so I suppose I'd better get on and really try and finish it. So here we have my finished unit. Two light boxes. Now, as you can see, they're not particularly thick. That's the idea, is that they're quite thin. They're not overly heavy, probably a couple of kilograms at most. I don't expect them much more than that. So what I need to do is turn them on and see how much brightness they give me. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold them sort of next to me, just like that, and just see how much light they give. Let me just flick the switch on, and of course everything's going to be over bright and blinding, so because obviously the idea is that I would set these out in the room to give me more light. So let's just see how bright they actually are. Ooh. Yeah, there's brightness for you. Goodness me, talk about completely swamping the camera. Yeah, but they are bright. If I turn them to the camera, then the camera's just going to go, oh my goodness. Yeah. Hang on, them to, so obviously I'll put them and position them out in the room so that so they provide light. The idea being that they'll be at the back of the room, more like in the corners or further away, quite some distance, so the whole of this light really fills the space rather than being right next to it like these are, which are just really quite blinding. But yeah, let me just put that down. But yeah, they work fine. They're on. They are on permanently. It's not like they're just switched on. I suppose I could use some sort of PWM sort of controller to control them, maybe, I don't know, but they work. And from what I've calculated, there's about 5 or 6 milliamps per LED, so they're not being overpowered or anything. So I can't imagine them having a problem, but yeah, they look great and they're bright. They are bright. Yeah, I like that. Brilliant. There you go. Anyway, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Subscribe, and all comments are welcome. See you next time.